And we are joined now by Stefan Rahmstorf, climate scientist at the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research. Welcome to the program, and thank you for joining us. What kind of action do you hope this year's Climate Week will generate?
Well, the action very much depends on the national governments. The UN has basically done what it can do by reaching the Paris Climate Agreement. And the key action we need now is that every government actually implements the Paris Climate Agreement. And unfortunately, we are seeing that only by very few countries that they have sufficiently ambitious plans and actions.
And what we're also seeing, I mean, we saw the images in our piece a bit earlier. We're seeing climate events. So, for example, California going up in flames. Some people still arguing that it's a weather phenomenon due to bad forestry. Put these events into the broader context for us. What is your answer to people who say that?
Well, it's becoming ever more clear that extreme events are enhanced and made a lot worse by climate change. And in terms of the wildfires, it's something the Intergovernmental Panel has warned long ago in its reports that these would increase as it gets hotter, as it gets drier in some regions of the world. And it's really a no-brainer that this enhances wildfires. On the other hand, we have more extreme rainfall events as well. That's basic physics, because a warm atmosphere can take up more moisture and then rain it down. We have more devastating heat waves, and the sea levels are rising. Satellite data show that hurricanes are getting stronger, something that has also been long predicted by climate science, because these tropical storms get their energy from warm near-surface ocean temperatures, and they are, of course, increasing. Of course, with every extreme event, the people who are in denial of reality come out and say, no, this has nothing to do with climate change, but the scientific evidence is overwhelming.
And as you highlight that evidence, also break it down in terms of the numbers for us, because in one of your articles, you've argued that it's vitally important that emissions don't increase beyond 2020 if the Paris climate goal of preventing this temperature rise to no more than 1.5% is to be achieved. Walk us through why that is so important
1.5 degrees,
and how we are doing right now.
Well, emissions are still rising, but they should be falling by now, because what counts really here is what we call the cumulative emissions. That is the total of CO2 that we have emitted since the beginning of industrialization. And what that means that every year where we add more carbon dioxide to the atmosphere means that we also have to reach zero emissions earlier to still reach the same climate goals, say the goals of the Paris Agreement. And already the last report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has concluded we need to halve the global emissions by the year 2030. So we only have 10 years to cut the emissions in half, and that means we have to start now. We can't even afford to lose a single more year.
An urgent call to action there. Climatologist Stefan Rahmstorf, thank you for joining us here on DW to share that view.
Thank you, my pleasure.